back to another video, and today we're doing cars that were discontinued in the US and Canada, well, at least in the US, that were brought back later or just kept in other countries. The first car is the Honda Fit. Ever since 2007, right, I just typed over it when I looked up when did the Honda Fit come out, because I remember it came out in 2003, but that was in foreign markets, came out in 2007 here. Anyway, the Honda Fit, it's been bringing smiles to Americans since 2007, and it's had a steady product line all the way up until 2020, when Honda decided that the Fit couldn't fit in their lineup anymore, and they wanted to focus on EVs. They said that the Fit just won't fit for you, and decided to get rid of it, just sweep it under the rug. But believe it or not, in foreign markets, it's actually called the You like jazz? It's actually called the Jazz, and the Jazz is actually still made today. They never discontinued the Jazz. So, well, the 2020, now, one thing you have to understand about why the Fit was discontinued was because it was coming up in the end of a generation. This generation was out since 2016, it's been out for 4 years, and after 4 years, cars usually get an update. There was no update coming for this, and, Honda, with the sales being down, they just decided it's not worth bringing the new updated version to the US. Just kill it, just get rid of it. But in foreign countries, the Honda Jazz kept being made, and you can buy one right now if you live in the UK. And believe it or not, it's now an EHEV, or a hybrid. I don't know why they say EHEV. Quite frankly, I don't like it, but still, it's still made in other parts of the world, which I find amazing. And, it's just so great, because over here in the US, we never heard about the Fit again, and to just know that it's still being made just warms my heart this Christmas season, right? I feel very happy inside. The next car is, of course, the Toyota CHR. Now, this was one of the only Toyota cars to only ever have one generation. I think one of the biggest qualms of the auto industry is when they just invent cars, right? Like, this thing's a thing. Especially Chevrolet likes to do that. Impala, Cruze, whatever, they just keep coming up with new names every 10 years. Scratch the Impala. They just keep coming up with new names every 10 years for their standard, cheap car, Malibu. They just keep coming up with them. And that's really annoying because it's confusing for consumers. And the Toyota CHR in 2016 said, I exist now. And unfortunately, it wasn't that great for Toyota. The sales were good, but let's be honest, it was a little bit of an oddball with this. Honestly, with all of this. All of this is the reason why it didn't sell that much. And, in 2022, they decided, we've had enough of the CHR. I mean, yeah. So, what car did they end up replacing it with? The Corolla Cross. We love the Corolla Cross. In fact, I like it more than the CHR, but it was still sad to see a wacky, weird car go, because we don't get too many of those. To see one go, that was very sad. So, believe it or not, yes, it's still made in other countries. In fact, they were selling it until, 2023, and then they updated it with the new CHR, which is lovely. I really do love the new CHR. It has a real door handle, which, I know. I think I was, asking too much from Toyota over here in the States to give it a real damn door handle. But hey, they listened. It's got a real door handle now, which is just amazing, and it, quite frankly, looks like a space potato. You like DangPods like to call the Samsung Yuck players a space... This is a space potato made. You haven't even seen a space potato. This is a space potato. It looks like the... what's the thing? The Terminator. It looks like the Terminator. It's terrifying, but it's still alive, and that makes me happy. The next car on this list is the Prius family. All of it. No, I'm joking. Just, I would never do something that broad for a video like this, right? Specifically the Prius C. This is the concept, which... delicious. The Toyota Prius C has been made here in the United States since 2012, until they killed it in 2021. So essentially, the Prius C was a great seller for Toyota, then it needed updating, so they gave it a little bit of a refresh. Remember, there's only ever been one generation. If you were to buy it in 2021, that would be the same 9-year-old design that you could buy in 2012. Granted, with some minor, better, kind of, maybe, exterior modifications and a slightly, air quotes, newer interior. Other than that, the car remained unchanged, and Toyota said get rid of it. But in foreign markets, the Toyota Prius, the theme of this, is called the Toyota Aqua, which is just a very nice and fitting name for this. And the Toyota Aqua got an update, believe it or not, and it looks great. I don't know about you, I've always loved the Aqua, and I think it looks especially good here. Look at that bronze. They got bronze? We didn't get bronze. I want bronze. Yeah, we have the bronze oxide, but still, I want bronze. Give me bronze. Just beautiful. I love it. It's so candy colored and just gorgeous. I'm so happy that it's still, a lot of these cars, even if I didn't like them, the new Prius isn't for me. I don't feel like it continues the heritage that is the Prius. But I'm happy that it's still being made because it keeps that alive, right? I don't want the Prius to turn into, like the Pontiac Sunbird Pontiac Fiero, right? Great car. They made it for a very long time and then they stopped making it. And you can't find parts for it anymore. Like some of the parts you just cannot find. I don't want that to happen to the Prius. So I'm happy that they're still making it and keeping manufacturers at least still making replacement parts for used Prii and stuff like that, right? Which I'm granted they still would do. It's probably a very, minuscule fear, but still it's a fear of mine. I can just sleep better at night knowing the lore and story of the Prius C goes on in other countries. The next car is the Toyota Yaris. In 2003, the Toyota Echo came out when they finally realized that Americans had pulled on their big boy pants. They realized that we can finally handle the Yaris, right? We can have the global market one. We don't have to have our own bespoke thing. Wow, who would have thought? And they gave us the Yaris. And everyone, everywhere, has loved the Yaris. Because Toyotas are just so amazing in that they don't care that they're budget brands, right? Mazda, Mazda is, they try to go upmarket, right? Honda, they try to be sporty. They always try to, we're a budget brand and we're so sorry type of thing. And if you ask Toyota if they're a budget brand, if you hate the Yaris because it's cheap and affordable, it'll laugh directly in your face and tell you to go away. It has so much guts, right? It knows that it's a budget car and it wants to be a budget car. It doesn't care what you think of it, right? Just such a bold car, and in 2020, apparently people didn't want the Yaris anymore, and they stopped selling it. Now, part of this was because they were making it with Mazda, and Mazda didn't want to really build the 2s anymore, and Toyota didn't really want to sell the Yaris anymore, so it was a mutual agreement that this Mazda 2 and Toyota Yaris should just leave America forever, and we never saw another one. And yet the Yaris kept on in foreign countries. In fact, it's still an amazing budget car in Australia. I use Toyota Australia's website when I can, just because it's easier. Just an amazing, great car. If you need something cheap, affordable transportation, that's what I've been preaching since the start of this channel. And I'm very happy to report that they're still making it in other countries. Because apparently Americans don't deserve that. But hey, and believe it or not, it's actually got its own Cross variant. The Yaris Cross. Now, we know that Toyota's nomenclature is changing, right? They're no longer calling their primes. They're calling them plug-in hybrids. So I don't know if they're going to be calling their Cross still. Who knows? Maybe they will. And the last car on this list is the entire brand of Suzuki. I fooled you with that too broad statement. I fooled you, and it's in the back of my mind. See, who said that I'm not entertaining anymore? Who said it? Right? I'm still entertaining. All of Suzuki. So if you don't know, Suzuki almost went bankrupt, and then they said, yeah, mate, no thanks, and then they just left. They just left. They were gone. Never to be seen, just gone. And believe it or not, in foreign car markets like Australia, I really love Australia, they still make it. The Jimny, I can buy a Jimny, and Suzuki, I've always loved Suzuki, right? Growing up, they were always so cool, Suzuki, even when I was a kid, not now, the Porsches and the Ferraris, they were fun, they were interesting, but I liked economy cars. Because economy cars, I could, afford those. They were affordable, and they were neat, and they were what most of the people was driving. And you don't want to hate your own car, right? So I've always loved economy cars, and I loved Suzuki back in the day. The Swift Hybrid, and Swift Sport are all great, amazing vehicles. The Ignis, I love the Ignis. Seriously, the Ignis is my favorite Suzuki. There's just something about the Ignis. I get it. It's small. It's a budget car. Bite me. Whatever. I love it so much. Look at it. It's like a little jumping spider. It's just so tall. It's such long, just adorable. I love the Ignis. It's just so great. And it's so budget and affordable, too. Wow! It's a real dial. Someone call the police. It's a real dial. I think this is why Suzuki isn't made in the U.S. anymore, because if an American got in this car and they saw that it had an actual digital real dial that even tells you the speed, they'd faint out and, they'd just die. Just dead. You'd have to dig a grave. And Suzuki can't afford to dig that many graves. So they just don't sell that anymore. Also, the Vitara and S-Cross are two truly great cars. These are very reliable and very great brands. So with that, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And wow, I felt really rushed there. Yeah, I know. I'm not ending the video yet. Rushing it too much. The S-Cross and the Vitara are two very great, amazing cars. We had the Grand Vitara here in the States, and it was cromulent. That's all I can say about it. It was a great car. It was fine. The Vitara in Australia, it's cromulent. It's fine. Very cromulent, actually. Just a nice, great, cheap transportation. My 23. Wow, interesting, fun. So, yeah, with that, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.